Meet Jordan. Jordan was 30 years old and had been in what he genuinely believed was a committed relationship for 14 months. He was wrong, not about the 14 months. The calendar was accurate, he was wrong about the committed part. Because while Jordan was busy being a boyfriend, planning dates, remembering details, showing up consistently with the quiet devotion of a man who had decided this was his person, Maya was still deciding. She had been deciding since month 1. She was still deciding in month 14. Some people are professional deciders. They live in the space between yes and not yet, and they furnish it so comfortably that the person waiting outside does not realize they have been standing in a hallway for over a year. Jordan had been standing in that hallway for 14 months. He had personalized it, put up pictures, made it feel like home. It was not a home, it was a waiting room. Now here is the thing about Jordan that you need to understand. Jordan was not naive, Jordan was optimistic. There is a difference. Naive is not seeing the signs, optimistic is seeing them clearly, and genuinely believing that love and effort are enough to change what you are looking at. They are sometimes enough. This was not one of those times. Maya was not cruel. That is the complicated part of this story. She never lied to Jordan, she never made promises she then broke. She just never quite fully made the promises. She existed in the relationship the way some people exist in a subscription service they keep meaning to cancel. Not unhappy enough to leave. Not invested enough to stay fully. Just renewed every month by default because canceling requires a conversation nobody wants to have. Jordan cooked for her. She liked being cooked for. Jordan made plans. She liked having plans made. Jordan showed up. She liked being shown up for. But here is the part Jordan took too long to notice. She liked all the things he did. She was not sure about him, and those two things, enjoying what someone provides and choosing who they are not the same thing, not even close. His friends tried to tell him. Friends always try to tell you. They sit across from you at dinner and carefully arrange their words into something that sounds like a question. Are you happy though? Because they love you too much to just say, Jordan, she's using your consistency like a free trial and has no intention of purchasing the full version. Jordan said he was happy. He was comfortable, which is the relationship equivalent of saying the waiting room has really good magazines. Month 9 was when the cracks became impossible to ignore. Jordan planned a weekend away. Somewhere meaningful, somewhere he had been thinking about for weeks. The kind of trip that says I see a future with you without having to use those exact words because actions were supposed to speak louder. Maya said she was not sure about the dates. He adjusted the dates. She said she would need to check with her sister. He waited. She said probably yes, but maybe check back next week. He checked back next week. She said she thought they had talked about this already. They had not talked about this already. He rebooked. She canceled 4 days before. And Jordan, patient, devoted, completely unaware that he had just rebooked a trip for a relationship that was already running on empty, said it was fine. It was not fine. But the version of Jordan who would have said that the version who had not yet spent 9 months in a waiting room convincing himself the furniture was permanent, that version said it was fine. Month 11 was quieter, not peaceful quiet, the other kind. The kind that arrives when two people have run out of things to say that are not the real thing. Jordan started noticing details he had explained away before. The way she answered his calls sometimes, but not others, with no pattern he could identify. The way plans became tentative by default, never quite confirmed, until the last moment, as if keeping the exit clear was more important than the entrance. The way she talked about the future, always vague, always fluid, always somehow avoiding any sentence that had both their names in it. He started asking questions he had been too comfortable to ask before. Not accusing questions, honest ones. And honest questions in a relationship built on comfortable vagueness have a way of revealing exactly what the vagueness was covering. Month 12, Jordan asked the question, not where is this going? He had graduated past that. He asked, do you want to be here? Not are you here, not are you staying. Not what are we, do you want to be here? Maya went quiet for a long time. And in that quiet, Jordan finally heard the answer he had been not hearing for 12 months. She said, I care about you so much, which is the full stop disguised as a sentence. Jordan nodded. He thanked her for her honesty. He drove home. And somewhere on that drive between the life he had been building in his head and the life that was actually happening, something shifted. Not broke, shifted. Because Jordan had not lost a relationship. He had lost a waiting room, and the difference between those two things is everything. Month 14 was the last month, not because of a dramatic ending. Not because of a fight or a revelation or a moment of explosive clarity. Just a quiet Thursday, Jordan woke up and realized he was tired of auditioning for a role that had never actually been offered. He had been performing boyfriend. She had been performing undecided. And the show had run long enough. He did not send a long message. He did not ask for a final conversation. He simply stopped showing up for a performance that only one of them had been taking seriously. And here's what happened next. The waiting room cleared. The hallway opened up. And Jordan, for the first time in 14 months, walked forward instead of standing still, not because he stopped loving her, but because he finally loved himself enough to stop waiting for someone to decide if he was worth choosing. He was worth choosing. He had always been worth choosing. He just needed to stop standing in a waiting room long enough to remember that the door was never locked. He could have walked out any time.